Hi Gemini, it's your Cosmic Auntie. This is going to be your monthly reading. I'm recording this in September, but it could find you whenever. And I hope it finds you well. I look forward to seeing what we can chat about today. I got an interesting visual with also interesting sayings, so I'm looking forward to seeing what we can lean into with the cards. So before I begin, I always like to say tarot is never supposed to tell you something you don't already know. Tarot is like, the cards present an energetic map that's like a snapshot of energy that reflects, you know, different energetic frequencies. And as the reader, my job is to, you know, speak to these energetic frequencies using my sensitivities and my intuition and my, you know, my own unique flavor to, you know, relay these themes. I encourage you to always choose the best route for you from the map, of course. You know, never give your power away, never make something fit. You know yourself best. You are your own best expert and you have your own intuition. I really hope that these readings come alongside you in what you find you're experiencing, sensing at this time that you discover this reading, and assists you in gaining greater clarity, assists you in feeling more, you know, you. As you discover you more, I'm here to witness and celebrate that process, because I too am doing that. So these are shared moments. I call myself the Cosmic Auntie because I want, you know, these readings to feel like you're sitting with like a favorite aunt that feels comfortable and fun and who's, you know, supportive. Also, these readings, I hope that they provide insight, you know, things that really do assist you, you know, in your healthiest well-being. So that's my little share before I get into this reading and introduce this deck, because the deck that I'm using is a bit of a different deck than I usually use. It's called the Tarot of Light and Shadow. And I really love working with this deck. I really love this tool. I love using this tool and doing readings with this deck because it's just incredibly insightful. So I hope you enjoy. The pictures are also delightful. The other deck, I probably, if you've watched my videos before, I've seen it before. It's the Lightworker Oracle by Alana Fairchild. So let's jump in. The visual I received for you this month, Gemini, was, you know when you make popcorn on the stove in a pot, like old school style? I still like making it like that. You put some oil or some butter, whatever, you know, in the pan, throw some in, you put it out, you know, on, and it starts to heat up, and you hear that first pop. It was that. I heard the first pop, then a lid went on, and then the image flashed to it being full. Like it was like steam, and all you could see all the popcorn in the lid, and it was kind of like, you know, rumbling. And as I was like experiencing this visual, I also heard popcorn as ideas. And then I saw the words like share with ... So I feel like we'll be exploring the maybe some discernment in regards to how you share, because like popcorn is often shared, right? Popcorn as ideas is what the energy said. And you know, there's so many kernels, there's so many ways that there's so many ideas out there, right? So it's interesting. It's like, because you also, the popcorn is kind of sold as like a product as well. So, you know, maybe some of you could be marketing your ideas. Others of you maybe, you know, really become, you know, leaning into your discernment about, you know, where you're sharing your ideas or who you're sharing your ideas with. Like, ideas are to be shared, but I sense, I just, you know, there's a certain like reading the room kind of energy as well, kind of stepping into your reading. And your ideas, you're smart, Gemini. You have good ideas. I feel like for those of you, maybe if you already resonate with kind of the narrative of becoming more discerning about, you know, where you share your ideas or who you share your ideas with, it's not to hide or sequester away at all. It's more like there's a certain kind of like protective energy I feel over yourself, in regards to, you know, just, I hope that makes sense. Like, it's not hiding, it's just knowing where you're valued and where you're respected, and, you know, sharing your bowl of popcorn there when it's ready. Share with ... There's also an element of like maybe waiting till the product is done too. Like the lid went on, right? You don't, all the popcorn would be going all over the place if there wasn't a lid, and it would be very hard to get it all and put it in a bowl, you know, and there would probably be like lots of like just dirt and hair on them. Like, they go everywhere. So there's also an element of like really kind of an incubation process of developing ideas to share with people, or developing an idea to share with people. There's so many ways that popcorn is shared, and I keep seeing kind of like a living room with a bowl of popcorn in the middle, and like, you know, movie night and game night and, you know, hanging out. Like, there's often popcorn. So I guess, you know, what kind of environments do you feel comfortable sharing in? And also, you know, stepping out of your comfort zone too. Like, because I want to make this clear, I don't sense this being a comfort zone. And it's not like, yeah, hiding or sequestering your ideas or your perspective away at all. What I feel is, yeah, like a development and then a discernment about, you know, where you're sharing yourself sharing these things. Maybe some of you, yeah, are marketing your ideas, or building on your ideas when it comes to businesses, projects, initiatives, all of it. I don't know. Gemini. And like, maybe, yeah, there's an element of maybe some of you are like collecting yourself, right? You know, without the lid, it would go everywhere. So the lid has to be on. So all of these ideas are here, and then the transfer into the bowl to present, to share, you know, so that people can ingest them. We got the King of Cups flipping out from the Shadow deck. This deck is 2 full 78 card tarot decks, 1 for the light, 1 for the shadow. So the King of Cups, yeah, there's a certain, like, you know, their glass is shattering. Like, there's emotional breakthroughs I'm sensing here. Emotional breakthroughs that I'm sensing. There's a lot of, I heard reward with that. And reward doesn't always mean to be like recognized or anything like that. Maybe some of you have been recognized, but there's a sense of achievement when it comes to the emotional breakthroughs that I'm sensing from that King of Cups. There's a limit that you've broken through, or a preconceived notion, or an illusion or someone else's, like, and you shatter through it. Maybe it's your own limitation in some way. So we've got the Two of Pentacles, it's the inner child position. We've got the Seven of Cups in the subconscious. The Ten of Wands in the conscious position. The Star in the heart space. Five of Cups in the past. The Lovers from the shadow deck in the present. The Queen of Cups in the future. The Six of Pentacles in the blockages. The Three of Swords is your strength. And the Ace of Cups as the advice, with the Judgment energy from the light deck. Oh, what else? Oh, and then we have the Three of Wands kind of flipping over here too. Okay, so yeah, I guess there's, like, what are these ideas is the first thing that I heard that came to my mind. There's so many things here, Gemini. There's so many perspectives, truths, ideas, memories, options. So, like, I really feel like there is a lot of, like, popping popcorn kind of just going off in my head. And so with it just feels like, yeah, like I heard the word cacophony, a cacophony of ideas and options. They're making you feel all certain kinds of ways. There's ways here that there's a lot that I sense you emotionally feeling into, and there's a lot coming up. There's a lot coming up. And I heard it's been a long time coming. There's been something that you've been dealing with for a while. Like there's a real ending of a chapter, but even when, like, the chapter ends, when it comes to the doing or the action, it doesn't emotionally end. Right, Gemini? There's a lot of emotional leftovers. So I guess maybe that's where I feel a certain, like, exclusivity to sharing what your ideas are, your feelings are. This may be very emotional matter, you know. This could be a sharing with a trusted friend, family member, counselor, any kind of, like, person that you really trust. Because, yeah, even when something ends, it doesn't emotionally end all the time. I really feel like there's a reconnection happening with yourself, with love of life, and love of self, and love of that relationship, yourself within life, feeling that very important component, like you're a very important, essential part of the fabric of existence. And that's what the Lovers is. With it being in the shadow, I feel like there's this deep connection with yourself that's emerging out of, like, the darkness. Like the Five of Cups, there's been hard things happen. With the light energy, this is external energy. So things that have made you sad, stressed, disheartened, loss, grief, so much heartbreak, disappointment, and there's an element of finality to it. The Ten of Wands here, it's like, you know, it's over, it's ending, it's ended. But are now becoming very aware of the emotional, the residual, like, emotional energy, because it's very valid, the things that you feel. And it's so, so valid to still be healing, even when all, like, the action and the things and the doing is done. Now is time to do this doing with yourself. And I really see that within your energy, Gemini. I feel like a sense of hope and relief coming from your heart. The star energy is the calm after the storm. The wish, the hope, the desire, the dream come true. It's here, it's in your heart. It's emanating, it's just harrowingly beautiful. And I say that because I sense a deep healing process here. And the cards, like, Spirit's showing me that strength is there's a strength in leaning into the pain. There's a strength in learning to love yourself and love, like, these parts of yourself, to learn to love them, to embrace them, because it's so natural to have been heartbroken, to have been just gutted over what has happened. And you will know, like, there's things that have happened here, and it's totally understandable to feel pain over them. And again, with the Lovers here, I sense you learning to love yourself and love those aspects of yourself. Taking the time to integrate certain parts, validate, forgive, hug, show up for, let go, all the things that need to be kind of sifted through when it comes to the emotional residue, like the residual energy after a traumatic and heartbreaking or disappointing experience. You have the Queen of Cups from the Shadow deck in the future. So this is really showing me that through embracing the parts that feel pain, embracing and, like, bringing your awareness to your pain, to try and understand and understand your pain, to put words to it, to express it, to show yourself understanding to why you're feeling that way, because what has happened has been intense, giving room to all these different emotions coming up. And it's funny because there's no actual swords here, but the vision's like popcorn as ideas, share them with ... So, you are air energy yourself. You rule that element, air element. And so, even though it's not necessarily, well, there is swords, I guess. Here is your strength. I lied. Sorry. You have the swords in your strengths. You have your own energy in your strengths. But the energy of the Three of Swords is painful. Painful memories about heartbreak, stress, loss, betrayal, abandonment, and all the things that get kind of glommed into that can cause blockages, right? Emotional blockages and mental blockages. I think you're really bringing your awareness to those things because you are air energy as well. You know how to utilize the power of your mind. And I sense that that's a way that is very important to you, to healing, is to being able to express your pain, to be able to share it, to be able to articulate it, and to have you know, others around you that you trust to be able to soundboard, who are going to engage in that like mental, that engage in that in the verbal arts, because you are very artistic that way, you know, Gemini, with words and thoughts and ideas and perspectives and this and that, and just, you know, really being curious about your processes, and, you know, falling in love with yourself again, and therefore falling in love with life again. And I heard becoming your own mother. And through falling in love with life again, falling in love with yourself again, then you fall in love with others again. And in others fall in love with you, and in ways that are reciprocal, respectful, healthy. You know, the levers is all those things. And yeah, you deserve all the beautiful things. Keep discovering yourself. Keep leaning into your emotions. Keep leaning into your intuition, your feminine energy. The Lovers is the alchemy of the feminine and the masculine energy. The yin, the yang, the known, the unknown. These polarities that exist all within us, and we all have our own different alchemy, our own different chemistry. And so keep looking and discovering what's in your cup. Keep refilling and recharging your cup, building the home and the community that feels right to you, right? Your inner child is assisting and balancing these things and alchemizing these things. And with this being in the light energy and earth energy, since you making shifts in your environment as well, incorporating different grounding techniques, maybe trying new things, finding balance in your work life, anything, you know, that and it's really guided by your inner child. And that's something I sense from you is creating more space to process these things within your environment while still showing up for every, you know, responsibility in your life. There is, you know, always assistance, Gemini. You're never doing this alone. You are your own person. Your experiences are your own. Your ideas and your perspectives, your thoughts, your feelings, all the things that you are diving into right now, the things that you are articulating are yours, but you're never alone, okay? I can sense that, again, with falling in love with yourself, you fall in love with life, and life falls in love with you, which means others and you fall in love with each other. And so what I'm trying to say here is, like, there's people that you haven't even met yet that are going to be just absolutely super comforting and supportive, and some of you are going to fall in love, some of you are, you know, going to meet new friends, new communities, and it's all like funneled because there's a reconnection with yourself as you know, really make room for your grief, really make room for your processes, and share them with, well, there's going to be, you know, some of you have people in your life too that feel like home. I think almost each and every one of us do. And even if you find that you don't, there's people that are wanting to hear from you, you know, like there's you know, healers and counselors and crisis lines, things like that. Please don't be afraid to reach out to those people, places, and things, because you are never alone. People will always want to hear your perspective, okay? And yeah, you are valuable. You know, you are highly valued in this life. Sorry. You're value, you're important, you're needed, you're essential. Again, essential component to this fabric of existence. And I hope that this is helpful in some way. I feel so like, you know, deep, and I just want to let you know I see you in your healing, and whatever it is that you've gone through. I'm so sorry you've had to go through it. But from these cards and the energy I feel, I'm proud of you, how you're stepping forward, how you're, you know, creating containers to allow space to those feelings, thoughts, sensations in the form of popcorn to take place, and in beautiful Gemini quality, putting it in a bowl and sprinkling some salt in there and some pepper and some like butter, and sharing it with the people that you love. Because you are such a teacher. You have so much to teach. And all of this emotional discovery, this reconnection to self, to life, to love, is going to bring in even greater blessings. I can sense with the Queen of Cups, there's just an awareness of your depth, awareness of your character, your ability to show up, your ability to tap into your emotions, your feelings, your ability to nurture others. And what I like is like this queen is like a little bit like sly, you know, like she has like a bit of like an edge to her. And like really weird ass shit that happens in life, and hard stuff, and all the things that we talked about will, you know, help in finding and leaning into the multiple facets of yourself, right? And falling in love with all of them. It's like there's a, you know, a reconnection with your fierceness, but also your tenderness, by feeling the residual feelings that come up after a challenging time. So again, this is in your strengths. Keep finding your truth in your pain, reclaiming your voice, being able to, and you know, articulate these things helps take the power away from them too. Like you have a powerful mind. So again, so many blessings to you. You're doing awesome and you're not alone. Whoa, that's too many. See, when the lid's not on, the popcorn goes everywhere. So and just to finish with this, because I know it's a bit of a heavier reading, the stars in your heart space. Again, there's this sense of relief, of hope, of a really deep breath, a calm after the storm. Okay, so we've got two. We have past life activation. And then we have first ray of power. So cool. Okay. So let's start with past life activation. And then we go right to one. Let's go. You have talents within that have been developed through many varied life experiences. You have had many lifetimes already, even if you don't recall them consciously, helping you evolve and grow into the loving being that you are today. Your desire to grow in consciousness and spiritual power to assist the divine plan unfolding throughout the universe is heard and supported by the spiritual worlds in all ways. To this end, past life material is being activated now for your benefit and the greater good. When there's deep shadow work, and there's also deep ancestral gifts, there's also deep soul gifts, and past lives can be many things, right? There can be past lives, literally, like, which I sense that you could be, you know, connecting with different gifts. These are things that you feel just like a natural affinity to, kind of thing. But also there's different chapters and lives within lives, right, Gemini? And in this life you've also lived, what did it say here? Many varied life experiences. And all of these different chapters have forged certain tools that you have at your fingertips. And these are the things that are carried with you, of your choosing, of your making, from the chapters that have been, to help in the chapters that are unfolding. And also to help in the reflection of a chapter's ending, and there's that time. And I sense that this reading is hitting right at that time of holding space for your emotions and articulating your truth, discovering your truth, all the things that we talked about. So, tools in your toolkit, Gemini. So let's go over here to, oh, whoops, there. First ray of power. The first ray of power is energy of conscious destruction. It can be used in a healthy way to eliminate the past and allow for a fresh start. The first ray also carries the frequency of leadership. It can assist you to stand in the truth of your light so others can find their way by it. It helps to strengthen your willpower so you can accomplish any task you choose. The Ascended Master Elmoria, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I hope you forgive me, Ascended Master. The Ascended Master Elmoria brings you his particular blessing and encourages you to believe in your own strength and take the initiative on what matters most to you. Wow. It can assist you to stand in the truth of your light so others can find their way by it. Yeah. The first ray of power is the energy of conscious destruction. It can be used in a healthy way to eliminate the past and allow for a fresh start. Yes, a fresh start is here, and it's okay to take your time to put all of the finalities, and the finalities being the space that your emotions need to, you know, be understood, because they're understandable. And I'm proud of you for taking time to explore your inner workings and refill your cup after a challenging time. I love you very much, and I'll see you next month.